This is a rope, benign, harmless, and non living. This is a snake, dangerous, alive, and fatal. The fact that we confuse this for this is one of the central teaching examples in Advaita Vedanta. Let's learn. The premise in Advaita Vedanta is that you already are that what you seek. And what do you seek? Happiness, completeness, fullness, freedom, freedom from this sense of limitation. But am I happy right now, as in unquestionably, unalterably happy? Doesn't feel like it. Well, again, Advaita Vedanta says that the only thing stopping you from acknowledging this fact is your own ignorance. You have misidentified yourself as this localized, ever-changing body-mind complex, whereas you are, in truth, this unchangeable, limitless consciousness. But coming back to our story, this is how it goes. It was dark, nighttime, and you saw a rope lying on the floor. You saw it from a distance, and in the darkness of the room and of your ignorance, you thought it was a snake. Fear overwhelms you. You think, what if it's poisonous? What if it bites you? What if you die? Fear freezes you on the spot. Then one of your friends comes in and switches on the light, and suddenly the snake vanishes. There never was any snake. It was just a harmless rope to begin with. Simple story, but what does this mean? Why did this happen? And what can you do to prevent making this mistake in your life? Well, let's address the what question first. What's happening is a sum of two sequential parts, the not knowing part and the wrong knowing part. In the darkness, you can't see properly. You don't know what that shape on the ground is, and hence the mind creates a wrong notion, making it seem like a snake. And of course, once this wrong knowing is set in motion, the mind and its fear creates further accessories showing you its fangs and teeth and making you imagine the poison which will flow in your veins once it bites you. Advaita Vedanta says this is precisely what's happening in your life. In the absence of knowing who you truly are, you create this wrong notion that you are this body-mind complex. And just like that rope snake had its poison and its ability to make you afraid, this body, when looked at as I, has its own set of limitations which lead to suffering. And why did this happen? Well, ignorance in both cases. You couldn't see the rope as a rope because of the darkness in the room, and your mind jumped to the first available conclusion, which is usually the thing which you fear, and so was born the snake. Similarly, you can't clearly see who you are, and in the absence of that knowledge, you hold on tightly to the belief that you are this body which came into existence and which will one day die. But why this ignorance? Well, as you go deeper into the text, you will find various answers, such as the veiling and projection power of Maya, the Leela of Ishvara, the karmas, and so on. And if that's the direction you want to take, there are plenty of in-depth podcasts on this channel which will help you. But for now, to keep it simple, this ignorance is simply because you have not taken a pause from the non-stop churning of thoughts. The hamster wheel keeps on spinning, we keep on running, and there is never a chance to stop, inquire, and reach a different conclusion than what we were force-fed from our childhood. Neither faith nor reasoning can give us enough of a breather to look at an alternate way of living. So the final question is, what do we do to get out of this delusion? Think, what did you have to do to get rid of the fear of the snake? Well, absolutely nothing. There was no snake to begin with. The moment the light of knowledge shined, the snake and its fear instantaneously vanished. And same is the case with your life. The moment you realize your true nature as consciousness, the limitations vanish. Again, what these limitations are and how they lead to suffering is a separate topic which you can know more about by looking at the videos in the description. The more important question is, how do you get to this knowledge? How do you switch on this light which makes ignorance go away? Well, two ways, and not necessarily sequential, which means you can do one or the other or both in parallel. The first way is the pure Shravana Manana Nididhyasana method. That is, you listen to the Vedantic texts spoken by a skilled teacher. As you listen to them, contemplate over them, and try to make them a living reality, knowledge becomes clearer, questions dissolve, and doubts disappear. The texts are aplenty, and fortunately, with technology and YouTube, the best teachers are right within your reach. Though my preferred way, the second way, is to start a consistent mindfulness practice in conjunction with listening to the Vedantic texts. Now, we will be creating a series of videos on introduction to mindfulness, but for now, just understand mindfulness as observing your mind. Sit in a relaxed posture, eyes open or closed, calm down your breathing and observe your thoughts. And that's pretty much it. Keep it as simple as possible, keep it as consistent as possible, and see what you find. Of course, you will keep getting lost in thoughts, but every time that happens, just gently bring yourself back to the observation point of you by yourself. Experience is the most powerful teacher, and you might just be surprised at what you find. Before you know it, the snake of suffering will disappear, and you will find there is and always was an alternate way of living. Good luck.